Hi, it's Lucy Carlson here, and it's been a long time since I've done any video game coverage on this channel, but I did just recently pick up one of my most awaited games on the Nintendo Switch, that being the remake of Super Mario RPG. The original Super Mario RPG came out back in 1996 on the Super Nintendo, and I have to say, that was probably my favorite Mario game of all time. Taking Nintendo's classic characters and combining them with the RPG design of Squaresoft certainly made for, in my opinion, one of the greatest Mario games ever made. The game never got a proper sequel, although there were spiritual sequels in the forms of things like the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi series. In Super Mario RPG, of course, a mysterious sword has come down from the sky and destroyed the Star Road, making it so people's wishes won't come true. So Mario has to set out on a quest to recover the 7 pieces of the Star Road so that he can restore it and make people's wishes come true. In true Mario fashion, this one starts out with a battle against Bowser and the Mushroom Kingdom, of course, but it's not long before Mario has to go on a much larger quest around the world and gather new allies to help him fight against mysterious new villains. The game features 2 new characters that were made for the game, or rather specifically the original 1996 game, Mallow and Geno, who've only rarely, occasionally been mentioned in other games. And then you get 2 other allies as well, including the Princess, and even surprisingly, Bowser joins your team. Throughout the game, it's a pretty standard RPG structure, but the game does have timed attacks that you can do so that you can defend or do more damage when it comes to the battles. And of course, you have special moves as well. Each character has their own array of special moves. Now, only 3 characters can be at the party at the same time, the only rule being that Mario must always be in the party. And each ally has different status buffs that they bring to the party, and it's up to you to decide how to effectively and appropriately plan for any given battle. You get some pretty big epic boss fights in the game, and of course, one major difference between this is the graphical overhaul, making the game appropriate for modern HD and ultra high def TVs. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Graphic-wise, the game is a total success, and I'm very happy to have played through this one. It's certainly easy on the eyes. The original game, again, probably my favorite Mario game ever made, but those pseudo 3D graphics just weren't really suited to modern TVs and really started to show their age and limitations. This is the overhaul this game has needed for so very long. Now, for the most part, the game plays pretty true to the original, and that's a good thing. But there are some additions, like, for instance, when you get your timed attacks and blocks, you can form a chain, and when that chain hits 100%, you can either use a Toad Assist or a triple attack that utilizes all of your allies. And these can vary depending on which characters you have in your party. So again, this makes planning out the fights pretty interesting. And you're going to want to look too at your enemies, find out their strengths and weaknesses, and build your party accordingly. There were some issues with the original game, a pretty restrictive inventory system that treated everything as an individual item rather than being able to stack items of the same type. That's been fixed here, although some of the better, more potent recovery items do have pretty hard limitations as to how many of them you can carry. Still, it's a massive improvement over the storage system from the original game. The interface is, much simpler, sleeker, and it's just all around, a great, well-done game. And one thing I do want to add as well, when you finally beat the game, this time around you actually get some post-game content where you get to go back and refight certain bosses. I won't spoil anything here outside of that, but I will say that these rematches are very difficult, and there were more than a few times where I found them more frustrating than fun, although I do give credit to Nintendo for actually putting some new content in the game. A few minor complaints that I have about the game are, A, there aren't any new playable characters, and B, there are no new areas. I would have liked to see some of these. I mean, it seems like a given that they should have had Luigi as an extra playable character. And then, of course, new areas. I mean, they could have made 1 or 2 new spots, even if they weren't very large. Maybe thrown in like a new boss or 2. I know for a fact the original Super Mario RPG had some additional color palettes for enemies that probably would have appeared in later parts of the game, more powerful versions of said enemies. So it would have been nice to see some of them get put onto the screen here. But again, The good far outweighs the bad. The original Super Mario RPG was certainly my favorite Mario game, but I am happy to say this remake is more than worthy. And if you are a fan of Mario or RPGs or just Nintendo in general, if you own a Nintendo Switch, this is an absolute must-own game, and I'm very happy I got to add this one to my collection. Have you had a chance to pick up the remake of Super Mario RPG yet? What did you like about it? What do you think could have been improved? Do you think it improves on one of the greatest Mario games of all time? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.